it's Dave at No Recipe Required, and tonight I'm going to show you how to grill up some pork chops. Now, I went off to the store. I got some like monster pork chops. You'll see them. They're kind of the brontosaurus chops. I'm going to brine them. We're going to obviously season them. We'll throw them on the grill. Maybe even do a little bit of sauce inside with them. They're going to turn out awesome. They're really easy to do, and I think you're going to love them. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so our grilled pork chops start with, obviously, the perfect pork chops. You want to buy kind of nice thick chops, and if you've got time, I highly recommend you do a brine on them. Simple salt and water for like overnight, 8-9 hours is perfect. That's going to get them nice, tender, juicy. You want to make sure you bring them out of the fridge about an hour before you cook them. Let them come up to room temperature. Then we're going to season them. We'll fire up our grill, take them out, and cook them off. Okay, so my chops have been out about half an hour, coming up to room temperature. And even though I've brined them, I want to salt and pepper both sides. You don't have to go maybe quite as heavy on the salt, but you definitely need to season. And you want to get both sides and even kind of the edges as well, especially the double cut like this. They're pretty thick, and so don't be shy about getting the seasoning all over. And I like to do this a little bit ahead of time, maybe 20 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes. That gives the chance for the salt to kind of melt in there, bring some of the proteins to the top of the meat, and it's going to help caramelize the outside. So once these are good and have rested or have set for, like I said, 15 minutes, we'll bring them out to the grill. Okay, so after seasoning our chops, all I did was coat them with a little bit of olive oil. And you want to lay your chops down on a nice hot grill so that you get some good caramelization, some good grill marks on both sides. And one of the keys to pork chops, almost any meat on the grill like this, is you're not going to flip it a whole lot. Now these are kind of monster chops, so we may end up flipping them a few more times than normal. But if they're kind of normal, say 1.5 inches thick, then chances are I'm just going to cook on one side for about 50% of the time, flip it, and then do the other side. Once I put them down, it's important to close the lid of the grill so that you essentially get kind of an oven effect in here, right? And pork chop cooks from all sides. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to let these go for a good 5 minutes or so, and then we'll come back, take a look. Okay, so my chops have been going now for about 5 minutes, and I want to take them over, and you want to see that nice grill mark, the nice crust like that. Now, it was on the grill like that. If you really want the grill marks, you want to take it and essentially turn it kind of 45 degrees like that. Ideally, you put it on a new part of the grill where the grate is nice and hot, hasn't cooled down at all, and you'll get kind of that crisscross pattern. I, however, rarely, if ever, really care about the grill marks. So what I'm going to do is just flip mine back over. I find to get like perfect grill marks, more often than not, I need to actually kind of overcook the chop. So I just skip it. I'd rather have a perfectly cooked pork chop. So I'm going to flip both of these guys over onto the other side. Let the same thing happen. Just caramelize the other side, get some marks on the other side, and let these continue to cook with the lid down. So after like another 5 minutes or so, you're going to see the other side get nice and caramelized as well. You should see kind of the outside fat starting to melt off and starting to render. Now if you've got nice thick pork chops like this, I like to actually stand them up on the side as well, to render out some of the fat. And the other thing we want to do, the outside is cooked now. So if you have a thinner pork chop, you may be done. You can take them off and let them rest. Thicker ones like this, I'm going to let cook for a little bit longer. So what I'm going to do is turn the heat down to low. I'm going to close the lid again and let them go for probably another 5 minutes or so, just to make sure that they're done. You want to bring the pork up to 140 degrees for a nice kind of mid-well or medium piece of pork, which is the way I like it. If you practice, you can kind of use the feel technique, and once you get good at that, you'll be able to tell. But kind of the easiest, most accurate way is with a meat thermometer, which if you're new to grilling pork or new to pork in general, I suggest highly. So I've let my pork chops go now for like another 5 minutes or so. Heat turned down low to keep the grill at like 400 degrees, and just let them kind of cook all the way through. Again, field test, however you want to do it, get it to 140 degrees. I'm going to kill the grill. You got to let the pork chops rest for about 5 minutes. I've got some apples sauteing. We'll make a quick little sauce for our chops. So I just took our chops off and letting them rest. And while they were grilling, I sauteed some apples, just simple apple slices. I'm going to add a little bit of Marsala lime and just let that reduce. I've also got some rosemary, a little fresh rosemary we'll add in. Apple rosemary pork is a beautiful combination. And once that Marsala reduces down, I'm going to add some chicken stock, probably a quarter cup there. I'm just going to let this reduce down to where the stock is probably a third of the volume here. Okay, so after about 5 minutes of reducing, your chicken stock is going to be way down. I added just like a couple tablespoons of apple juice to just boost the sweetness a little bit. And add a tablespoon of butter, kill the heat, and just stir that in. Touch of seasoning with salt, pepper. Our sauce is done, and this is a pretty loose sauce. It's almost like a little juice. We're going to lay the apples kind of right on top of the pork. And we're good. Let's go ahead and serve it up. Okay, our grilled pork chop. I'm serving mine with a little bit of rice, some green beans. We've got that sauce that we just did. You want to drizzle the sauce kind of right over the top, or frankly, even a lot of places will do it now. On the side, looks very nice and pretty. Load some of those apples up. A little bit of height. And we're good to go with a beautiful grilled pork chop. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.